They packed their bags almost 7 months ago to start the Western Hockey League season. It all culminates this weekend. The final 3 days of the regular season wrap up, and what better way than with two rivals up and down the I-5 corridor. The Portland Winterhawks getting ready to take on the Seattle Thunderbirds, and it's coming up next. There is such a great long tradition of hockey here in Portland. It goes back to the Buckaroos, and now with the success the Portland Winterhawks have had. And there's probably no surprise because of that you can't find a ticket for tonight's game, as the Rose Garden is sold out. It probably helps that their main rival is in town, the Seattle Thunderbirds. Welcome into the Rose Garden, Ian Furness and Kevin Sawyer. And Kevin, the one thing we do know is that these two teams are both in the postseason. They more or less know where they're going to be when the playoffs start next week, but there's still a lot to play for this week.
There is, for sure. A little bit of wiggle room for Seattle, fighting for 7th or 8th. Portland's got it locked down, baby. They've been rolling all year long, but if they needed a little bit of motivation going into the weekend, look no further than that healthy rivalry. It's a healthy hatred between these two teams. They're going to use that for energy going into the playoffs into full stride.
Let's give you a little feel for what's going on the final 3 days of the regular season. Here are the Western Conference standings. Portland is in, their #1 home ice advantage throughout. Seattle is in, they're just not sure exactly where they will be.
Seattle needs one win out of the next 2, and they'll lock down 7th place. Everett, if they get 3 points because they have more wins, they're going to take over 7th seed. So that's a big deal. The 8th place plays against Portland, but listen, Kelowna in 2nd place isn't a slouch either.
Well, for Seattle, it's good just to be into the postseason. They've missed it the last few years. For more on that, the third member of our crew, Kevin Urensky. Kevin?
All right, thank you, Ian. Now, Seattle clinched that spot on Tuesday night at home with an 8-3 shellacking of the Tri-City Americans. In that game, T-Birds captain Luke Lockhart led the way with 2 goals and an assist, and I caught up with him a little earlier this evening to talk about making the playoffs. Well, Luke, congratulations. You're in. Playoff spot. Now the question is, 7th or 8th, does it matter?
Our goal is 7th. We really circled that on our to-do list, and these last 2 games are big. We don't want to have to wait around for Everett to lose. We want to take control of our own destiny and secure 7th.
And a big challenge, of course, tonight against Portland.
Yeah, they're a good team, and they got things to play for themselves. But we want the points more than they do. We want 7th.
All right, fair enough. Best of luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ian, that's T-Birds captain Luke Lockhart.
And, of course, he's one of the 20-year-olds, and for a 20-year-old, it's a really crucial time. Their career is coming to an end.
Well, there's a lot of emotions involved for sure as a 20-year-old. He's spent a lot of years, a lot of time in this league. You know that he's going to want to leave on a positive note. Like I said, he's invested a big part of his life into this league.
All right, well, meanwhile, as you mentioned, Portland, they've been more or less on cruise control. For more on the Winterhawks and what they maybe have to play for this weekend, let's go back down to Kevin Uretsky.
All right, thank you, Ian. Now, the race for the Bob Clark Trophy will be a big focal point for the Winterhawks this weekend, because Nick Patan has 112 points. Brendan Leipsic right now leads the Western Hockey League with 115. So who is going to come out on top? We'll find out, and I spoke to both of them a little earlier this evening. All right, Brendan, we'll start with you. The scoring race coming down to the last weekend. You and your line mate over here. Any personal bets or anything, or is just pride on the line?
No, nothing really. Me and Nick are pretty good buddies, and we were talking kind of on the road trip back from Victoria that, if it comes down to things, we might as well just tie it and both kind of share it.
Both get your names on the trophy.
Exactly.
All right, Nick, what's the motivation going into this weekend? Obviously, you guys are in the scoring race along with your fellow line mate Ty Ratty, but I know the team wants to play 800 hockey.
Yeah, we're always close as friends and stuff like that, and it's a meaningless weekend, but we're going to get our good habits going for playoffs.
Fair enough. All right, fellas, best of luck to both of you tonight. Ian?
Well, of course, the big key there for Seattle is they don't want either one of those guys to rack up points this weekend.
No, that's for sure. They're going to want to shut them down for sure. They know that those guys, they won't admit it, but hey, they're competitors. You get to this level because you're a competitive person. They want to be as good as they can be.
All right, Seattle and Portland will drop the puck before a sold-out crowd in the Rose Garden tonight. Should be a lot of fun as we wrap up the regular season. Friday Night Ice on Root Sports is coming up next. Rose Garden, the Seattle Thunderbirds and the Portland Winterhawks meeting for the 11th of 12 meetings this season. They'll do it again tomorrow night up in Kent, the ShoWare Center. And Seattle plays host to Portland to wrap up their regular season. Portland has one more game Sunday here at home, and we're underway. Seattle in the blue jerseys, the all blue, and Portland in their home whites here on this Friday night. And the first period face-off is brought to you by Travelodge. Travelodge, where you always stay close to adventure with over 350 great locations all across the USA. And we get an icing call right off the get-go. Just 15 seconds in gives us a chance to tell you who's playing between the pipes tonight for both teams. A little bit of story on both sides. Seattle down to the right, you see Danny Mumma, the 16-year-old netminder native of Colorado. There he is. He'll get the call. Their number 1 goaltender, Brandon Glover, out serving the second of a 2-game suspension tonight. We'll get to Portland and Brendan Burke in just a moment. Portland with possession of the puck, and they'll find Hansen. It's a down low, and there you see the numbers of the starters for tonight's game as Mumma has to come up along with Smith early on to keep it a scoreless game. Portland, the number 1 scoring team in the Western Hockey League, among other things, and then a little bit of chatter at the blue line. Justin Hickman and Bjorkstrand having some words. These two rivals see a lot of each other. Again, 12 games when it's all said and done out of 72.
How about those starting lineups for both teams? Peters starting with his line, Deschamplain for the Portland Winterhawks, and we had Cam Bites on the other side. A lot of toughness. Hickman on the other side. Both teams looking to get some energy early.
There you see Brendan Burke getting the start tonight. We mentioned for Portland in goal as we talked about the starters. Burke in. Matt Carruth is a scratch tonight, the number 1 netminder for Portland. Lower body injury. Must be the playoffs. Actually, it's the way it is now. Everything in the Western Hockey League a little bit covert in terms of disclosing injuries. Banged up in Victoria the other night.
Pretty minor, I think. That might be a sore baby toe. I think he's looking more for the rest leading into the playoffs in the first round.
Taylor Peters in behind the net. Great story for that young man. We'll tell you as the night goes on. And Rutkowski as well holds it into Peters. Long shot through traffic. Mumma made the save, and Shea Theodore for Seattle will gain possession. Good hard forecheck early on by Portland.
Well, Portland does such a good job. Watch when they have the puck on their stick. They're mobile. They move around. They move the puck. They move their feet. It's confusing and difficult to defend in the defensive zone for Seattle.
Pouliot will gain possession. Portland will get a line change in as Rutkowski carries the puck to the blue line and dumps it in.
Speaking of good stories with Taylor Peters, Rutkowski has as well signed a contract, a free agent contract as a 20-year-old with the Ottawa Senators. He's earned that and then some over his career in the Western League.
Peters signing this week with Dallas. Great Monday for this organization. 2 guys working very hard and getting rewarded. The National Hockey League has seen what these guys have done. What a big part of the success of the Winterhawks they have been. 2 character players as well.
Well, they've been passed over by a bunch of teams in the NHL, and I'll tell you what, these are stories that people should feel really good about. Late bloomers, if you will, but they've just stuck to the process, pardon me, and they've gotten what they deserve.
Forsberg will clear the puck for Seattle, and it's gloved down by Hansen at his own blue line. Nick Patan with it. Rolls the puck towards the front of the Seattle net, knocked down there, and Folk will come ahead. Cam Bites. Long shot handled easily by Burke, his first save of the night. Baker and Sheen do battle along the boards. Cam Bites there as well for Seattle. Puck squirts free, and Wotherspoon will calmly bring it back the other way. Calgary draft pick.
Right there.
Wotherspoon dumps the puck in. Turgeon behind the net. Plays it back to the blue line. Long shot. Bounces right to the slot area. Loose in front. And Mumma able to cover up and hold on. Nice play by the 16-year-old netminder. A ton of traffic in front. Mahan and Baker were there causing all kinds of trouble. And Danny Mumma able to cover up.
Well, a great job by Portland's Baker. His heels, look at his heels. They're on the top of the crease, providing a great screen, a big body net front. But look at Mumma, pardon me, strong on the crease, strong on his feet, acrobatically makes that save, stay strong on the puck.
Mentioned Portland with the goal-scoring prowess. They have the top 3 point men in the Western Hockey League. And this season they're the leading scoring team in the Western Hockey League as well. 314 goals for this year.
Unbelievable. Well, you brought that point up, Ian. When's the last time you saw a team that has the top 3 goal scorers finish in the regular season where we've never seen it?
Never has happened. A number of times 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, never 1, 2, 3. Portland has a chance to do that. Centering pass dug out by Seattle, and Green couldn't clear though, held in. Delio hit from behind. Play continues as Mitch Elliott will carry to the blue line and get it out to Seattle, the neutral zone.
Nice job by Hoff, number 33 for Seattle, getting on the body to DeLeo.
Pouliot knocked the puck down in the neutral zone. He'll play it in. Shea Theodore, one of the top draft prospects in the Western Hockey League, with the puck on his stick in behind the net. The Seattle defenseman, 19 goals on the season. His outlet pass at Delnov, but it comes right back. And 2-on-2, Lipsbergs and Delnov. Delnov Lipsburg's crisscross Delnov in the slot, got taken off the play by DeChamplain.
Look at the job that Portland does coming back to the house. They track so hard without the puck. 5 guys around 2 on the entry for Seattle.
Iverson carried it in, got it to the corner. Taylor Peters working hard, but Seattle digs it free and clears into the neutral zone. And back come the T-Birds. Lipsburg's stopped at center ice by Pouliot. Now played ahead to Delnov. Here's Sanvito cutting in. Shot save, big rebound. Nobody there for Seattle. Instead, the white shirts bring it back, and DeChamplain will start the rush. Trying to go by Smith, who knocks him to the ice, and Smith lost his stick on the play. He'll pick it up, and Swenson able to clear. Carried in now by Connor Honey. Dropped it off, and a shot steered away by Burke. Shots are 3 apiece as Hoff holds it in. Hard off the back of the wall, and it's at the side of the net. Honey digs it free, threw it in front. Sanvito couldn't get to it. Tipped away by Leipzig, and here comes Brendan Leipzig to just chip it inside the zone.
Good creativity by Connor Honey. He's got the puck and he throws it on a backhand pass to the crease. He fooled everybody, including Sanvito. Wasn't expecting the pass, but it was on the mark.
We'll check in with Kevin Uretsky at the next stoppage as Leipzig has it, carrying it in. Leipzig centering pass swept away by Theodore. What a nice defensive play.
Good stick by Theodore on the 2-on-1 patient, taking away the pass, puts his stick in the lane, and he gets the puck. Nice job.
Cam Bites will get it deep. Hickman goes after, but Wotherspoon touches it off to Hansen instead. Wotherspoon calmly to center ice, throws it in, and Mumma has it. Cam Bites, Mahone. Mahone at the blue line. Now Leipzig centering pass. Not mistaken, Leipzig's getting a little double shift duty there. Dumped in and picked away by Seattle. New player for Seattle, Ethan Bear. Tell you about him in a second as Turgeon dropped it off. Long shot through traffic. Mumma didn't see it, but it went wide. Now Sheen will backhand and clear. Back it comes to center ice. Long time without a whistle. 14 minutes to go in the first period as Mumma will touch it.
Nice job by Baker for Portland getting on the body. His physicality I've noticed here in the first couple of shifts for Portland in front of the crease with a big body presence, finishing checks.
Delio trying to go by Smith. Had Bjorkstrand in front. Delio wrapped it around, and Mumma got a piece of that as Elliott will carry back for Seattle. Trying to get it deep, knocked down by Rutkowski.
Seattle's in the middle of a change right there. Elliott's on the entry, but nonetheless, Portland does such a good job. You will not see throughout this game very often that there is not more white jerseys in the defensive zone on Seattle's entry than blue. They just do such a good job committed away from the puck.
Delnov will dump it in. Brendan Burke there. Talk about all the top draft prospects. The goaltender for Portland tonight is one of those. Good bloodlines, too.
His father was Brian Burke, a longtime goaltender of the National Hockey League.
Get it offside on Portland. Let's take a quick look at some of the missed chances. Portland had a couple of good scoring chances early on.
Well, look at the way they bring the puck into the net. Seattle does a good job tracking back as well, but Portland funnels feet, bodies, and puck to the net. But Theodore there does a great job having his stick in the lane. Here, DeLeo for Portland comes around. He shoots that puck below the goal line, but he knows he's got support. His teammates are going to the net. A quick rebound could end up on a stick.
Good fast pace in this game early on. Kevin Uretsky's between the benches tonight, Kevin. Yeah. Lively game.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's been a couple of good hits. DeChamplain and Svensson coming together in the Seattle end. Want to keep my eyes, too, on Derek Pouliot tonight. Just back a couple of games ago, missed a long period of time due to, as you said, a covert lower body injury. And it'll be interesting to see how much ice time he gets tonight as the Winterhawks try to get him ready for the playoffs. One of the standout defensemen in the WHL.
Yeah, number 51 back there is Hansen. Can't hold the puck in. Sheen putting pressure on, but he dropped it off to Wotherspoon.
It's a great point by you, Kevin. They're going to manage his ice time. Travis Green is wise about this. He doesn't want to overload his ice time, wants to make sure that he gets a feel for the ice, a feel for the game again.
Here's a turnover by Seattle. Patan has it. Not the line you want to turn it over against. Centering pass. Ratty didn't see it. It goes to Wotherspoon at the blue line. 331 points combined for those three. Is taken down was Ratty in front of the net, and Sheen able to backhand and clear.
What are you thinking if you're a defenseman for Seattle and you see those three barreling down on you into the zone?
You're probably thinking, don't turn the puck over in the slot.
They're thinking change.
It doesn't matter who you are. They're a nightmare for anybody in this league, Seattle or otherwise, as the puck played to the line. Here's Sanvito trying to cut in. Vorobyev will pinch him off and bump into the corner. Connor Honey will drop in for Seattle. Honey with 18 points his last 17 games played. He's been banged up a good chunk of the year. This was picked up and cleared by Iverson. Out to center ice. Took a heavy hit as Forsberg dumps it back in. What physical game. You kind of wondered if that was going to be the case tonight, as now a penalty coming up against Connor Honey as he took the Portland player down inside the Winterhawk end. So the first power play of the night comes, and it goes to the Portland Winterhawks. The dangerous power play that is Portland, as Honey doesn't like the call, but he's going to take a seat.
Definitely not a part of the game plan for the Seattle Thunderbirds, as Portland has the third best power play in the entire league. But here, I'm not sure that this is one that I agree with here. As you see, Honey, he's working hard. He's a horse all season long. That's a little bit of a baby tap. Some of the things they've let go so far, I don't think that one registers with those. And yet, hey, anytime your stick is swinging, you're going to draw the attention from the ref.
Is that a penalty in the playoffs, Kev?
That's not a penalty in the regular season, if you ask me. But hey, refs want to call it tight. I just don't think it's consistent with some of the other things he's let go.
Here's Petan with the puck. Plays it back to Pouliot at the line. Nick Petan. Pouliot. Now Ratty. Witkowski's in the high slot as the puck squirts back out to center ice.
Nice job by Forsberg, number 5 for Seattle, pressuring on that half wall. Takes away time and space from Leipzig.
Portland's power play third in the Western Hockey League at 22%. Seattle's 11th on the penalty kill, right in the middle of the league. Here's Ratty with a shot, and I think Mumot just got a little bit of a glove on that one to knock it high as the puck's cleared by Cam Bites.
How does Petan get that puck onto Ratty's stick? There's no time. He's got all sorts of back pressure, and yet he puts it on Ratty's stick for the quick release.
Pouliot leads the rush. Long lead pass for Witkowski. Went off his stick, so no icing. Is Smith there to pick it up for Seattle. Tried to clear. Witkowski got a piece of it, and now Leipzig in the corner. Pouliot winds. Now got a shot go off the back of the net. Lively boards here at the Rose Garden. Leipzig in the corner. It's got Petan in the circle. Takes that pass as Nick Petan. Pouliot. Taken away and cleared by the former Winterhawks, Seth Swenson.
Interesting setup and breakout by the Winterhawks. They've got Rutkowski, who's a defenseman. He's stretching on that far blue line. He's net front presence. They're a 1-3-1 with a big D-man net front.
Looks like Hickman got knocked down the neutral zone as play continues, and it's carried in by Portland.
I think he stepped on some bubble gum.
Always an issue on the ice. Hickman has it, he'll clear. I'll translate that for folks at home in a second. That means he just fell down on his own.
You just did translate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Tips. Pouliot at the blue line holds it in. Delio in the slot, and it's tipped away. Hickman will turn and clear. Interesting, Portland now, that time they had the two defensemen in the back. Is just a couple seconds left to go. Honey is back on, and no shots on goal during that man advantage. It's interesting they had Rutkowski, the defenseman, in the high slot on that power play. We'll talk more about that as the evening goes on next time Portland gets a man advantage. I hadn't seen that before.
Two different setups for two different, very different power play units.
Of course, they're without Seth Jones tonight. He's a healthy scratch, so that might be part of the reason as Theodore brings it ahead. Delnov down the right wing boards. Delnov trying to cut in. He's got Elliott going to the front of the net. Elliott crashing the net, and it is held on by Brendan Burke, and that'll get us to our first time out of the night. 9 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in the first period. It's been a dandy so far. Portland and Seattle are scoreless.
Walchuk, and give me your take on the first 10 minutes and change. A very lightning quick taste so far.
Yeah, no, it's good pace. I think both teams are skating well. You know, we want to do a little bit better job in the neutral zone, just getting that red and make their D turn a little bit more. And a couple times we had a chance to get the puck out inside our zone, and just want to make sure we play a simple north-south game here.
All right, best of luck, Steve.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Steve Conowalchuk. Ian, back up to you.
Kevin, thank you. And shots now 5-4 favoring Portland. 8:56 left to go. Period number one. Face off to the left of Burke. Theodore couldn't quite hold the puck in. Now he has to dive to prevent what could have been a 2-on-1. Kevin Hoff back there, and Swenson on the back check will scoop it up. Here's a loose puck as it comes away. Hoff now ahead to Sanvito. Couldn't reach that pass. Rutkowski has it. Swenson will dump it in. Got sandwiched between a pair of Winterhawks. Peters hit him. As Burke has to cover up with Honey on the doorstep, he'll hold on with 8.5 left to go in the first period of play. Coming up in the first intermission, the Kevins and me will go through the Western Hockey League playoffs. And speaking of that, WHL.ca for all the scores, stats, and much more. Of course, you can watch all the games live as well through WHL.ca. every single game is broadcast on the internet. So if you are unable to watch your team on the road in the postseason, and stay with our friends at, say, a travel lodge somewhere, you can watch the games. Just go to WHL.ca. All the scores updated as they change throughout the night. Here's Leipzig down the left side. Watched by Smith. Into the corner it goes. Ty Ratty digs it out now. Picked away by Patan, and they score! Brendan Leipzig got it. 1-0. Portland, the Western Hockey League's leading scorer, gets his 46th of the year.
Well, this play starts in the neutral zone. We just heard Connor Walchuk talk about how he wants to tighten things up in the neutral zone. Well, it's a soft pass through the neutral zone. Portland in transition gets the puck, and look at Patan here. He knows where his partner is. They lead the league in scoring for a reason. They know where each other is. They have a second sense for each other, and look at this pass. It's right on the tape. Leipzig makes no mistake as he's got double coverage and still manages to tap it in the back door.
7th of the year and the 10th game for Leipzig against Seattle. He's got 23 points. Patan has 24 against the Thunderbirds this season. That won't change anything as far as the scoring race is concerned outside of the goal scoring race. Three-way tie for 45, but as far as points, Leipzig with 116, Patan with 113 now. They're still 3 apart. Ty Ratty also gets an assist. That gives him 105 points on the year. Ratty's actually in a pretty big battle for third.
Oh, has he ever? Yeah, he's in a battle with Colin Smith, I believe it is, from Kamloops at 103 points. Only trails by 1 with 2 games left in the season. Anything can happen.
So Portland on top 1-0, and Elliott down low for Seattle, trying to center the puck, unable to do so as he got hit. Puck squirts free, and DeChamplain will clear out to center ice to Theodore. Hoff ahead San Vito in the slot, trying to split the defense, is steered away by Burke.
I'll tell you what, good job in the neutral zone there by Seattle, but there is just no area, no ice to skate the puck to the net. They have to shoot the puck with speed and then play hard without the puck, get to the net for second chances.
Turgeon pokes back to the blue line, Mahan with it. Baker into the corner, Baker has it, he'll find the blue line. Now the puck squirts free as Vorobyev couldn't keep it in. Shea Theodore for Seattle. Sends it length of the ice, and this should be an icing call. Whistle sounds with 6:54 left to go in the first period. Let's take another look at that first goal.
We're going to see here how quickly Portland gets the puck to the net. They have a nose for the net. Here it's a cycle, draws 2 people to him, puts the puck down low. Ratty pops it to the far corner. They go east-west right here. Patan, so hard to defend when you go from blue line down to the corner and then east-west, rink side to rink side. It's just hard to track and hold your defensive check, and Seattle loses their checks. Patan puts it right in the stick of Leipzig. That is a beautiful play.
They make it look easy, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's not easy one bit, especially when you have pressure on you. Spinning and firing a pass like that right on the mark.
Theodore carried the puck in. Seattle wanted to get a line change in, though, so Swenson peeled off almost as soon as they got to the line. Bjorkstrand brings it back. Dropped it off. Here's a chance, and that puck never got through as Delio let her rip. Kevin Uretsky's between the benches tonight. And Kevin, I know Seattle had to be pretty pleased with their start early on, yet they look up and they still find themselves down 1-0.
That's the challenge. That's the problem the entire league's been facing so far this year. And, you know, Leipzig on that play got pinched by 2 T-Birds along the near boards here and then snuck away and won the race to the front of the net. You know, they don't have their heads down or anything on the T-Birds bench. Steve Konowalchuk still, you know, guys still look into it and they still look fired up. But that is the challenge, my friend. It's a almost sometimes no-win proposition.
This very well, by the way, again, could be a first-round playoff preview. Here's Patan in the slot. Dropped it off. Rutkowski, and it's kicked aside by Mumma. Got the right pad down.
Nice save by Mumma. I'm not sure that he saw clearly that puck coming at him as Rutkowski fires it with the defenseman screening, but Mumma has a great angle. We got a good angle from here, and he just gets that right leg out on him.
Hey, Mumma's not the biggest netminder, but he is some kind of athletic.
Really working on his game, too. We saw him play a month and a half ago, I think it was, in Everett. He came in and, you know, he was all over the place and sliding around. He lost his posts that time, and he's just stuck with it. He's slowly gotten better as the year goes on. He's only 16. He's got a long way to go, but, hey, some improvement here this year for sure.
Sheen with the shot, and Burke handles it. He'll hold on, and conversations continue afterwards. And Muma's in goal tonight again. We mentioned Glover. There you see Burke. Burke's in because of the injury to Caruth. Muma's in at the other end for Seattle. Brendan Glover, the starting netminder, is out. He cannot play until tomorrow. He had 2-game suspension. So Muma, and this is his game. And what I mean by that is, unless he's injured, he's in there for the duration tonight because Seattle is unable to use their third netminder. Actually, there's fourth. We'll kind of explain there. They got quite the depth chart when it's all said and done as far as goaltenders are concerned. But it's actually Austin Smith, a 19-year-old, played a little bit in the Swift Current last year, the BC League this year. He can only play if Muma gets hurt. In fact, both teams with affiliate netminders on the bench tonight as backups. With Caruth out, Portland with Jared Shammerhorn is in there. He's their backup tonight to Brendan Burke.
Well, I think that probably serves Portland better, as they probably would have scratched Caruth regardless of how hurt he is. But Glover, on the other hand, for Seattle, you're going to want him to play some minutes here leading into the playoffs. Make sure that he finds a stride. Seattle hasn't necessarily been at the top of their game. You want to make sure that he's feeling comfortable going into next weekend's playoffs.
Bjorkstrand carries it in. To the corner he goes. Forsberg bumped him. Bjorkstrand just kind of went right through that check, though, as Forsberg able to gather it up. Pretty good battle one-on-one along the wall.
Elusive play by Bjorkstrand there, as he's got Jesse Forsberg draped all over him. Puts the puck off the boards and spins. He sheds the check. It's crafty. Nice little play by Bjorkstrand.
Shots are 9-6 now favoring Portland, as Luke Lockhart will carry the puck. And through center ice he comes. He'll dump it in, head off on a change. Green hustling after it. Mahan. Center ice to Baker. Watched by Bear. Off the side of the net, bouncing in behind the goal.
Geez, Portland will shoot from anywhere, won't they?
That's crazy, isn't it? Turgeon will carry in. Get a whistle on an offside with 4:04 left to go in the first period. And I mentioned this is the last weekend of the regular season. The playoffs are right around the corner. They begin next Friday. And for the Portland Winterhawks, hey, how about that? Get a little puck. Nice souvenir for that young lady. Playoffs begin next weekend for the Winterhawks. They will be at home March 22nd and 23rd. Winterhawks.com for tickets. Winterhawks.com. And if you're a Portland Winterhawk fan, you might as well go ahead and start buying those tickets right now. You know they're playing at home for the duration. As long as they're in, they'll be here with home ice advantage.
They were buying playoff tickets for the first round at home back in December.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's newsworthy that their playoff tickets are on sale right now. Might have started actually in November.
Yeah, no kidding. Interesting, though, they started the season 4-3. Talked to Travis Green before the game. He said they weren't sure what type of a team they were going to have. They stuck with the process. Obviously, they've had some adversity throughout the course of the year, and they've really, he says he thinks it's the best group of kids off of the ice that they've ever had here in Portland.
Peters looking in front, held in. Rutkowski faked a shot. Rutkowski, the captain, let a shot go, deflected up in the netting and out of play. Seattle has been here 5 previous times this year, and the Thunderbirds have won 1 time. Now, the interesting thing is you talk about their slow start, Kevin Sawyer. It actually was opening night here that Seattle picked up their only win against the Portland Winterhawks.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was coaching in Spokane for the first half of this season, in and out, filling in for Don Knockbar, and we played against Seattle a couple times, and this team at the beginning of the year was excellent. They really, to me, I thought that they were going to be a contender in the Western Conference. They've did a bit of a nosedive after October ended, and I think, you know, they just really haven't found their stride since. But yeah, Portland didn't start on fire, and Seattle did.
Forsberg has it. I want to talk about the confidence part of that equation in just a second. We'll bring Kevin Uretsky in as well, as the puck carried in by Hickman. Sheen after it. Hickman 2. Cambites couldn't find it. It's cleared. Off the skate of Ratty. Patan will gather it in. Again, here comes that line. Long lead pass, and that'll miss. It'll be an icing call. Hey, Kevin Uretsky, you've been between the benches all year. You get a chance to see all the teams in the U.S. division, and you kind of get a better feel than most of us do down on the ice level. Kevin Sawyer mentions that Seattle is a team that maybe on paper you would have thought a little bit more of this year. You look at Portland. Portland's the picture of confidence. Seattle still trying to find itself. Do you get that feel on the ice as well?
You know, the feel you get with Portland is complete and utter relaxation. They're just so cool, so calm, so collected while they're playing, and, you know, as some of the guys are talking back and forth between the benches, but they're so cool and calm. They're very relaxed, especially tonight. Here comes Leipzig.
And he scores to make it a 2-0 game, just like that. Cool, calm, and collected. There you are, just second of the night. So easy down that left wing.
Watch the fake on the release here as he drives to the net. He doesn't have a very good angle. Fake, backhand, he gets it upstairs quick. That's a goal scorer right there. There's no panic. Talking about what Kevin Uretsky says, cool, calm, and collected, no doubt about it, what he's doing there, and he makes no mistake.
It ended up being almost a 2-on-1 with the defenseman trailing. Kind of a strange developing play there, but Leipzig's got such great speed. Wow.
And you're talking about obviously a guy that's blessed with a lot of skill, but he's blessed with a lot of grit as well. He's got body contact to fight through there on that half wall, and he keeps his feet moving, riding the bike. He just doesn't quit ever.
Elliott with a shot right on by Seattle to try to answer, and Burke kicked that one away, held in by Folk. Connor Honey, Elliott in the slot trying to cut in. He'll take a slash and a penalty coming up against Portland.
Nice bump up shift here by Seattle. Elliott led by Mitch Elliott, who gets a quick shot early in the shift. Draws a penalty as well. Nice bump up shift.
You know, Elliott is a guy that comes on a lot after a goal is scored, after a penalty is killed. The big guy, he's an enforcer for Seattle, the biggest player in terms of size and strength. And number 7 draws a penalty. It's always been a mystery to me. I wonder why that 19-year-old from Prince George doesn't get a little bit more ice time. Is it skating? What is it with him?
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's things off the ice you don't know, but I agree with you, Ian. He's got the tools. He's a big body. He's nasty. He's got some skills as well. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten the look, but he's got time.
Well, he's the guy that draws the penalty. Seattle goes to work, trailing 2-0 on a power play. They've been outshot 11-7, but they get an opportunity to go to work here with a man advantage.
You know, a guy like that could look at a guy like Taylor Peters and say, hey, only 19 years old. He's got opportunity. Sometimes guys just get looked over, and that could be an advantage, because then at least you know if you get the opportunity, it's from a team that really wants you.
Lipsbergs plays it behind the net off the stick of Honey. Leipzig there to pick it up, and he'll clear the line. Not out. Lockhart calmly holding it in.
It's like a shortstop there.
Connor Honey.
Glove hand catch.
Almost a glove save there. Yeah. Here's Honey. Down low, a nifty little pass. Burke save, a rebound. They hammer away, and they pound away. The puck still loose as it comes into the slot area. Theodore with it. Faked a shot. Pressure by Peters. Taylor Peters. Terrific penalty killer. Theodore up high. The shot blocked. Loose between the slot. Picked away by Peters, and he will clear.
What a great pass again. That's the second time we've seen that tonight, Ian, by Connor Honey, as he fakes like he's going on his forehand. He spins and he slides a backhand pass behind his body. Nobody's expecting it coming. He created a scoring chance because of it.
Talking about playoff officiating in some ways, there was some lumber being laid in front of the Portland net there in that scramble. Theodore walking in, faked a shot. Theodore on the back door right there was Sheen, and he couldn't bury it into the empty net.
What patience by Theodore. Does he have a pulse as he walks in? He fakes, holds, fakes, holds. If that's Portland, that's a goal. Back door wide open. Sheen just wasn't expecting the pass.
Sheen shot, save, rebound. It's right there. Big net to shoot at. Nobody home. Held in by Forsberg, though. Now low looking for Johnson. 15 seconds to go in the man advantage. Final few seconds of the period. Dug out by Sheen. Smith at the line. Cross ice, Forsberg's got a pretty good shot. Doesn't let it go, though. Centering pass, it's loose, they score! 2-1. It's a power play goal. It comes with 1 second left on the penalty to Pouliot.
1 second left on the penalty and 19 seconds left on the period. I'll tell you what, that is a hard-working power play goal. That almost looked like a 5-on-5 grinded out shift. Some great passes. They executed well, and what they really did is they took the puck to the net with bodies there.
6 shots on goal during the 1 minute and 59 seconds of that power play. This speaks again to what both of you have spoken to and talked about, this Seattle team. You just feel like there's a little something there. and maybe sometimes it's just confidence, and I would assume, Kevin Uretsky, that bench has come alive down there.
Yeah, it certainly did. Earlier in the power play, after whacking away on Burke, Connor Honey came back to the bench very frustrated, but definitely a certain pickup in emotion, and we'll talk to the T-Birds in between the first and second period about it.
No big surprise. Look who's back on the ice. Mitch Elliott, the guy who drew the penalty in the first place.
Centering pass is the horn will sound, and that'll do it for the first period of play. Pretty good period of hockey, pretty entertaining. Seattle ends up out shooting Portland 13-11 after the 6 shots during the power play, but the Winterhawks have a 2-1 lead after 20 minutes of play. Hey, Papa's in the house. They want to give you the Papa John's power play offer. Go online to papajohns.com tomorrow to receive 50% off your entire order by entering promo code WHL50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Seth Swenson will join Kevin Uretsky when we come back. 2-1 Winterhawks with the lead after 20 minutes.
Let's see.
It's time